Welcome to Blinker Fluid TV, where we cut through all the BS and we bring you everything that you want to know about the automotive industry, new product launches, cars that are coming. And right now, 2020, there is so much going on, and Tesla is at the forefront of all that is going on, especially right now. We have 7 signs that point to a February launch of the 2020 Tesla Model Y. People have been looking forward to this for so long. Let's get into figure out exactly what it is that makes me believe that Tesla's coming out with this in a matter of weeks. Before we do that, make sure you take a few seconds, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so that you can get all the notifications for all of our videos right in your inbox, and those really awesome notifications on your phone so you can get them as soon as our videos are published. So take a minute, get that done, and we'll be right back. Seven signs that point to a February launch of the Tesla Model Y, and I am excited to bring this to you. I love Tesla. I've been a Tesla fan for a long time. Bought myself a Tesla Model S a few months back, and I absolutely love it. I pre-ordered myself a Tesla Cybertruck. I'm so excited for when that comes. So for you people who maybe haven't been paying attention, let me just recap really quick here. The Model Y was originally expected to hit the market late this year, late 2020, this fall. But due to production ramping, they've actually been able to bump that down as much as 6 months. So now we're looking at they say a late first quarter launch. So people were expecting like late March, maybe even farther out. But I have 7 indicators right now that I've uncovered that will show us, I believe, that the Model Y is going to come out a lot faster than we expected in as early as 2 weeks from today. So number 1, they recently received their carb certification, and that's something that is a huge indicator. It's something that only happens usually about a month, sometimes it's a matter of a couple weeks before a vehicle hits the market. They get the carb certification, which talks about all the details of the vehicle itself, and that's something that has to be filed publicly. So that was just announced just barely, and that's something we can definitely count on. Just historically, the Model 3 actually had their carb certification just 25 days before their official launch. So if Tesla is doing anything to maybe slow that down a little bit, we might be closer to 30 days or something, maybe even faster than that. We'll get to that in just a minute here. Number 2, the Model Y is showing up as an official vehicle made by Tesla on the NHTSA website. That's wildly significant because only when a car is actually physically in production and actually starting to push cars out the door is that something that actually happens. You can now take there's VIN numbers being issued. You can decode those VIN numbers on the internet, and it tells you exactly what it is. So that's telling me there's cars being built right now and set aside for delivery here very soon. More and more Teslas have been showing up at public charging stations. People have been popping up pictures all over the internet, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Reddit, everywhere. There's pictures everywhere. Some of them have been right next to a Model X, which is super cool to see because I know that the Model Y is based on the Model 3 frame, but it doesn't look like a Model 3 necessarily. I mean, it's got the door handles like a Model 3, the interior like a Model 3, but it's designed more like it's a smaller Model X rather than a bigger Model 3. Kind of interesting. Number 4, Tesla employees are taking the Model Y to run their errands around town. Probably, I'm guessing, for business purposes, probably not so much for personal purposes, but we're starting to see more and more of the driving around town where it's obvious they're getting ready to launch this car. Number 5, there's an unnamed source who has been correct with previous Tesla information, claims that employees have been receiving, will be receiving their deliveries in as little as 2 weeks. So this is someone who's on the inside, who obviously knows. He wants to keep himself out of the limelight, doesn't want to get in trouble for releasing this information prior to it being accepted, I guess, by Elon. So recently Elon was asked, when's it coming out? He said, soon. So that's an unnamed source who's been previously quite reliable. So that's number 5. Number 6, employees have been flying out to the facility there in California to do specific Model Y testing. And again, that's something significant that only happens just right before a vehicle is launched. So people are prepared for how to deal with the car, whether that be how to deal with the car itself, like, with the interior of the car, how to show people how to test drive it, whatever it is. I mean, there's specific things that have to go into it. And that's number 6. Number 7 is really the biggest significant thing. The fact that now we have it, we're able to see it. We've had people who've sat in the car, not able to take pictures, but you've got the car itself is a lot taller than the Model 3. It's not quite as big as a Model X, but it's definitely based on the Model 3. So we now know some more information about the styling of the car itself, rather than just kind of like hoping. I personally, when I was in California recently, I took a picture of a car. It was way off in the distance, but you could see that it was definitely a Model Y, but I was too far away to really get up close and get a good picture of it. But I liked the look of it. The styling was very nice. I love the look of Teslas. They're very unique. So it's definitely a slightly a smaller Model X rather than a bigger Model 3. So I guess I've said that a few times now. The glass roof itself. So the Model 3 has a glass roof that goes across the top, and then it's got a bar in the middle, and it's just right behind the driver's head. So with the Model Y, they've actually done away with that bar. It's moved farther back. So you get a lot more storage space in the Model Y than you do a Model 3. So one thing to think about here with the Model Y, they've kept very quiet with the sales numbers of the Model Y. And why is that? One thing that I've been thinking is it's one of two things. Either the numbers are really low and they're kind of embarrassed that they thought it was going to outsell the Model 3 and the Model X and the Model S combined, or they're so huge that they didn't want it to cannibalize the sales of the Model 3, with the Model 3 being the cheap alternative to the Model S and the Model X. So we're about to find out. So again, the text or the tweet that suggests cars could be launching to employees within about 2 weeks. So today is the 20th of February or of January. So we're talking like the first week or so of February, we could be seeing employee launch vehicles. And then just beyond that, usually they start out slow and then work up higher. They ramp it up. So I'd say late February, early March would be a good expectation for when you can expect to see Model Y start hitting the road. I'm curious what you think. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's going to be longer, but I think Tesla's been known for so long for getting stuff out a lot later than they expected. And it's really cool to see that they're getting things done earlier. Because as I mentioned earlier, they were supposed to be, this vehicle was not supposed to hit the market until late this year. And now here it is, expected to be hitting like 6 months earlier, and maybe even earlier than that. That's really, really significant. They have slowed the production of the Model 3 to account for that. So I'm excited to see the numbers. And I'm curious would you buy a Model Y? Would you buy a Model 3? If you currently have one, would you switch to Model Y? Anyway, drop your comments. I'd love to hear from you. And again, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And one last thing, don't forget to check your blinker fluid.